What is going on, my YouTube family? My name is Aaliyah, and I am your host for the hottest new podcast on YouTube's block, Health Builds Wealth, where we're going to be normalizing healthy conversations, okay? Because I think we're having all types of conversations, but we are not having enough healthy conversations. I also think that when people think of health, they think of just like dieting and like working out or just like organic. And health has a lot of more aspects that take part into health overall, that I think people are missing or may not be aware or just really don't want to have the conversations because it's a little uncomfortable. But those factors are what create us to be better human beings in our lives, in our day-to-days, that will align us to create and build the wealth that we're all on this life journey looking to create and align with and just reach. So I'm really excited for this space and to see how it grows and how we can learn from each other and learn from other people. Today is actually December 30th, so we're about to be into a whole new year. And every year I like to give myself like a theme. And earlier this year, I was actually playing a game with my boyfriend, and I asked him like, what's something that attracted you to me? And he was like, your audaciousness. And I was like, wow, that word really stands out to me, like audacious. I never really thought of myself like that. So I gave myself the theme for 2025 to be audacious, to have the audacity to do it all, to have the audacity to do it, whether I'm ready to do it or not, have the audacity to take action into everything that I want to take action, whether I know how to or not, which is what brings me here in front of you guys. This is literally me walking in my audaciousness, having the audacity to really just be comfortable with myself, with my process, with the lessons that I've learned in life, and the wisdom that I have to be able to share with you all, but also to learn from others, and to just really start normalizing these healthy conversations that we're not having enough of, right? When it comes to health is your relationships, okay? Health is your finance. Health is your environment. Health is what you eat. Health is also how you move your body. But health is also your mind and your spirituality. So I like to think of health in 6 different factors. And what we're going to be doing is really like breaking down those factors, talking in depth about each factor, and just normalizing a healthier way of looking at life. But yeah, especially with everything that's going on in the world, I just see like so many people sick. I see so many people going through all types of motions of life. I see so many disasters. I see so much disconnect. I see so much like women feeling one way, men feeling another way. Like it's just so much going on. What I've learned in my journey is that intentionality is probably the best that you can do for yourself, because there is so much to focus on a day-to-day basis. There is so much, and especially now with like access to so much information, so many people, so many resources, it's very easy to get distracted, and it's very easy to do what's easy, and what's easy to do is also what's not the best to do. So I just really want to normalize intentionality and giving ourselves grace with being intentional in every aspect of our life, showing up in our lives intentional to make the world a better place, right? Like I probably can't change the world, but I can change myself, and I can change the kind of conversations that I'm having, and I can change the environments and the relationships and my mindset, and my activities and my daily habits for better results in my life. And I think that we all need a little bit more of that. And I think that we all need a little bit more of those kind of conversations and normalizing those conversations, so we can start seeing and kind of creating what those kind of conversations and ideas and truths create for us. The first things first, my little motto that I like to run with is like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I think that we're not keeping each other as accountable and being as real with ourselves and with each other, where conversations like this are needed right now, especially like for myself. I'm 27. I'm like transitioning from like young girl to like young adult or grown ass adult. And I just feel like a lot of information that I'm learning and I'm starting to realize are things that I had to learn on my own. And it's just like, why nobody taught me these things? So I really want to be that servant to you all and just share what I've learned on my journey. Like my health journey started when I was actually back in middle school. My mom is a teacher for speech delay, kids with speech delay. And during that time, I remember when she was going to school, she actually changed our complete pantry. Like she changed everything that we would eat. Like I'm talking about, she would buy Cinnabons. She would buy my favorite, you know, the little Cinnabon, the cinnamon swirl things. They were like cinnamon swirls in the packages. Like it was a lot of like Entenmann's cake, Minute Maid, Tropicana, all these variety pack chips. And one day she just changed everything. And one pivotal memory that I have is like, I remember she came back one day and she was making pasta and she came back with like a tricolored pasta that was supposed to be like different veggies. And I was just so discouraged and I was so disappointed. But you know what? That was probably the first time I was ever really exposed to a different way of operating. And although it was uncomfortable, just like many of the conversations that we're gonna have, that it's just like, I don't know, I never tried that, I've heard of it, but it doesn't fit me, it's not what I know. I had to get with the program, right, for better results in my life because my mom saw something that I didn't see. And a lot of times when we hear these health conversations, we may be a little against it because we don't see what other people are seeing. And it's not until we reach a certain level of our lives that we're like, oh my God, now I gotta make these changes, now I gotta like, move a certain way. And I want us to be better earlier. I want us to be better earlier. So going back to that, once I reached high school, so going back to my health journey, once I reached college, my grandma actually had to get surgery for her knee. And my grandma is somebody who has taken care of all 8 of her siblings, including her nieces and nephews and including her grandchildren. And my grandma was like babysitter, and I just see her take care of everybody in her life, right? And one thing that I realized when I got to college is that my grandma took care of everybody in her life, that she forgot to take care of herself. And when she got to the age of mid-70s, she was so heavy for her bones because they were so weak that she had to get surgery. And that surgery really changed her life because she was never really truly an active person. She was truly never somebody that did something outside of her comfort zone. She was never somebody who did things that she just didn't know, right? And she didn't know any better. So that's when I came to like this epiphany, like, holy crap, I have to change the way that I actively do things because one, we do what we see we tend to do what we see our family do, but we tend to become what our environment is. And I'm like looking in my environment and my grandma is like sick and she can't move and she stopped being active. So I got into the gym, and when I got into the gym, that is where I can say like environment started to change for me. Remember, I'm trying to give you guys just like a rundown of this, where these 6 pillars came from. So we talked about food, we talked about active, now we're talking about environment. So environment changed for me when I got to the gym because now I was around people that had purpose and goal and had commitment and discipline. And those are things that I really didn't understand because I always just was good at things. I also was like the pretty girl, so I would just get what I want and it would just work out for me. And also like I have this really high energy that I'm learning now that I always tend to attract and manifest everything that I want, but it's just because I believe in it and I don't have any doubt in myself. Right? And that's just like a gift of God that I've always had as a kid. And I think that the older I am getting and the more that I'm learning, and the more that I stay in the environments that I'm used to, the more I overthink and I'm having less belief, but I'm learning. And that is why I'm being more audacious in 2025, because I kind of lost my audaciousness from just like life. Life happens, right? Life hits us. We go through things. We don't know how to deal with these things, but we get through it. And then after, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not the person I was when I was like 17, 18, just like ready to tackle the world no matter what happens. I'm 27 now and I'm like, hold on, I don't want to make a mistake. But that's what life is all about: making mistakes, learning, and just continuing that audacity. So I got to the gym and these people were like committed, and that was something that I really took. Like, I was like, wow, I want to commit to something. I want to be committed and have discipline and see results and seek out results, because I always just been good at things when I was like in high school and middle school, and even when I was in college. So I started to change my environment. I started to hang out with people that changed their environment, people that I was going to the gym with. They weren't really like hanging out late. They weren't really like drinking as much, because they were worried. They were focused on their body, and they were focused on bigger results and just being at having a healthier lifestyle for healthier results. And I respected that. So I started to change my environment, and I actually started to go to I started to think like, okay, I want to be around like successful people, because I started to get like a taste of like just a more successful lifestyle. I come from the Bronx, so like the things that I was exposed there. I come from the Bronx, but my mom moved us to Connecticut when I was 12. So I was, yes, exposed to things in Connecticut that allowed me to awaken my awareness and be aware of certain things that I didn't know existed when I was in the Bronx. But because it wasn't normalized to me, I didn't indulge. So it wasn't until I got into these environments that I started to indulge. I'm like, yo, I want to start doing like successful things. I want to be around successful people. So I started to get into like financial like events and workshops, because I actually went to school for business, and I was like so intrigued when I went to business that I started to learn about like assets. I didn't even know about assets, guys. I didn't know about assets till I got to college, like literally. So I was like, yo, I want to learn more about assets. I want to accumulate assets. Little go me. And from there, I started to learn about finance, and I started to fix my finance, and that felt really good because I was able to start doing things that I really truly wanted to do. Start like travel more, be around like people that had results that I never even thought that I could reach at like such a young age. Can you guys believe that I was somebody that didn't even know that Black people were wealthy aside from like rapping? Like literally, like awareness closed. So my awareness started to open up. And once I started to change my environment and I started to change my finances, which were my habits, which I also changed my habits when I got to the gym, I started to work on my mind, because I started to realize in finance that like, oh my God, like I am emotionally attached to money, and I need to make better decisions here in order for me to see better results, right? And that is just the point of this whole conversation, is just being aware, one, normalizing these conversations in order for us to be aware, because the more you repeat it, the more you see it, the more you experience it, the more you start to believe it. And then just changing your mindset and knowing that you can. So I started to change my mindset, and I started to realize like, oh my God, I gotta change the way that I think, the way that I operate about money, and just the way that I see life, because life is happening for me. It's not happening to me. And I didn't understand that until I got into like this finance world. I was like such a victim-minded individual, but I was also an audacious individual. Like, I'm gonna get what I want because I didn't have this when I was young, or my parents didn't give it to me, so I'm gonna give it to me. I had that attitude, like I'm gonna give it to myself, so I'm gonna do what I want to do. So I changed my mindset. I started to change my mindset. I started to be more in control and be more present and be more intentional, and understand how you do one thing is how you do everything, and started to see that and pay attention and slow down, because I used to be a person that just always on the move. But once I got to slow down and kind of analyze myself, and like analyze markets and analyze people and analyze results and analyze how the food was changing my body and how my decisions were helping me, I actually started to realize and analyze that I needed to strengthen relationships in my life, especially with my parents. You know, I gave them a huge hard time when I was a teenager, because I just thought like, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. And my poor parents were like, you know what, we did the best we can. And then I started to like rebuild relationships with my cousins. I started to rebuild relationships with friends that like I may not have valued them as much because I was a teenager, and little petty stuff you'd like, oh, I don't care. But I started to understand like relationships and really appreciate them for people who they were and how they were showing up for me. And then I started to value intimate relationships. Like I started to be more mindful of the type of intimate relationships that I had, because I realized that I would just, date and just not date with intention, not date with a purpose, not date with a goal in mind, with an end goal at that. Like, what are we doing here? So once I started to rebuild my relationships, I got to really embody health in all different areas and really understand that like, how you do one thing is really how you do everything, but it's really important to show up in each aspect because they all help each other hand in hand. And that is the whole core of health builds wealth. Like going back to awareness, right? Because in order for us to even tackle these aspects, in order for us to be intentional in the aspects of our lives, in order for us to show up, we have to know, and we don't know what we don't know, right? So we have to have these kind of conversations. And I think that people may be scared or uncomfortable to share it. I know that I was like overthinking because I'm like, how am I going to sit here and talk about health and these different aspects when I'm still trying to master it? But I at least have an understanding, and I at least embody it, and I at least am walking in it, so I can share what I know. But it's important for normalize these conversations, and the only way that we can normalize it is by becoming aware and becoming educated and educating each other and keeping each other accountable. And it's important for us to enhance the next generation, to be better for generations to come. That's what we're building here. We're building a better life for ourselves. I feel like we all need this. I was originally going to do like a girl podcast and talk about like girl information, because I feel like as I'm growing and I'm becoming a woman, there's things that like I just didn't know. And it's like, girl, we need to have these conversations. But I think that we all need this information, no matter whether it's girl, boy, they, them, she, he, us, whatever it is. We all need this information. We all on the same journey. We all want more money. We all want to live longer and make more memories with the people that we love. And we all want more time, right? We all want more time to make memories, to have more money. So why are we not having conversations about it? Like, why we're not having conversations on how to live longer, how to make more money, how to spend more time with our families, or make more time. Like when I talk to people like, oh, I don't have time. It's like, but everybody says that. So it's like, we all don't have time. So how about we have a conversation about how to make time? Because if we just continue to do the same exact things, have the same kind of conversations, talk about the same things, indulge in the same things, put our intention and our energy into the same things, we're just going to keep getting the same results. And I think that we all can agree we want more, right? I think we can all just stop for a second and just be like, like I really want more. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like we were put on this earth to create. And I think that that's where we should start. Awareness is first. We need to be aware of like what we don't know. And we become aware by normalizing and educating ourselves and being in front of information. But how can we even want to put ourselves in front of information and educate ourselves and have these kind of conversations if we don't even understand the purpose of our lives? Talk to people, and I'm realizing that like most people don't have a purpose or may not understand their purpose, and that's okay, right? Like we're on the journey of creating and figuring it out. But I think that especially with the back and forth of like women being in their masculine and men being in their feminine, like we're losing ourselves in the distractions and the programming that's out there, but also we're losing ourselves with not understanding our purpose as human beings on this earth. Our purpose is to create. We were put on this earth to be creative human beings, and we can create anything that we want to create as long as we believe it in our minds, right? And belief comes from awareness and practicing and being around it. And the more you see it and you are around it and you're talking about it and you add value to it, the more that you'll be like, nah, I definitely can do this. And that comes from conversations. How many times are you having a conversation with a friend and you're like, yeah, I want to do this, and then you talk about it? Or a vacation. It happened to me the other day. I went to a birthday party and my friend's talking to me about carnival. And then she's like, yeah, because I would really love the outfit. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, the outfit. And then with these shoes would be mad cute. And then this other girl's like, oh my God, we should get it. And then we just keep adding and adding to the intention. And it just becomes more and more real, right? So we can do the same exact things for our lives, and for our health, and to be more purposeful and understand how to be purposeful individuals. Now, some people may not want to be purposeful, and that's okay too. We also have choice in life, right? Like, God gave us a choice. This is not to put any beliefs on anybody. You can believe in whatever you want to believe, but you have the ability to make choices. We're the only living things in this world that can make the choice to say no. Every other thing has to stick with whatever it was created as to be. A plant has to plant. Okay, an animal has to be an animal. A son has to son, but a human baby can have audacity to believe and to normalize and to have conversations and to make it normal. Like, yo, why are we not talking about the next action to take for long-term investment? Why are we not talking about how to heal ourselves? Why are people sick and we don't know how to heal ourselves? We're going to the doctor for hours, sitting in an emergency room for somebody to prescribe us something that we don't even know what is in it. Why? When you can literally take your money, buy healthy groceries, buy certain groceries. It doesn't even have to be healthy. Like, why does anything that has to do with like being better have to be like just healthy? Like, I hate when I don't know how to say it. Damn, I don't know how to say it, but like, it's not just healthy groceries. Like, it shouldn't just be like, oh, fruits are healthy. Like, fruits are also a source of sugar. Fruits are also refreshing. Like, you get me? Like, I feel like we label things like, oh, healthy, Miss Organic. I think that we just like label ourselves, and we don't need to do that. So I just want to leave you guys with a small little activity, right? Because there's just so much to unpack. I don't want to keep like rumbling about the same thing, like being healthy, normalizing health conversations, normalizing being better, being intentional, being aware. We have to be aware. The way that we're aware is by being present. The way that we're being present is by slowing down. How are we slowing down? By understanding our purpose. How do we understand our purpose? By getting in tune with ourselves. How do we get in tune with ourselves? Our active movement, our habits. Okay, I read something that was like, habits build success. It's the small habits that build success. It's the habit. How do we build that? Like, there's just so much to unpack, and there's so many levels, but I just want to leave you guys with a little activity that kind of has helped me become more aware of the end goal, right? Because if we at least know the end goal, we know where we're working ourselves to, so we understand how to apply the information. And working backwards is like my little system that I like to do, because at least if I know where I'm trying to get to and I know where I'm at, then I can work backwards and find my way, right? So let's work backwards. Let's build a sense of awareness so that when we come back with the next conversation, we are aware of where we're trying to get to and why it's important to have this conversation, and why this conversation or this topic of this conversation can apply to us, because we understand where we're trying to get to, okay? So this is a little activity, right? So health builds wealth, right? We're all on this journey of wanting more time, wanting more money, wanting more energy, right? That's just the reality. Yeah, we want more things, but that's the core, right? So, okay, we all want more. We can all agree to that. What do we want more for, right? So what I would like you guys to do on a piece of paper, and I would never tell you guys to do anything that I haven't done. I was like mad nervous because I'm like, I don't want to bring my paper here. It's like not aesthetically pleasing, but like, y'all, write things down, okay? Writing things down really helps you. Like, yeah, you can do the activity in your mind, but it doesn't stick and it doesn't challenge you as much unless you're actually physically doing the activity, right? Taking the time to do the activity, to write it down. It just marinates more in your brain. And that's the whole point of building awareness, is taking action, is doing things you don't want to do. Like, the reality is you got to do things you don't want to do to get the results that you thought you'd never have. So maybe you don't want to sit there and write. You're like, yo, I haven't wrote. I don't know what your excuse is. Take a piece of paper, invest 10 minutes into yourself, into your future, into your kids' future, into your kids' future, into your family's future, into your future, your pet's future, whatever, your spouse's future. Take 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be specifically 10 minutes, but listen, take a piece of paper, write health builds wealth, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're building wealth through healthy habits, healthy conversations, healthy information, healthy facts that are out there. We're normalizing that. I want you to write, what do you think of when you hear the word wealth, right? Words. Is it luxury? Is it money? Is it freedom? Is it abundance? Is it faith? Is it freedom? Is it love? Is it family? Is it time? Is it energy? Whatever wealth words come to you when you hear the word wealth, I want you to write it on the side, right next to wealth. Then below, I want you to write down, what does wealth feel like to you? What do you see wealth as in your mind when you close your eyes and you say the word wealth? What do you see? What does wealth taste like to you? Does it taste like just mac and cheese, or does it taste like the truffle butter lobster mac and cheese? What does wealth smell like? Does it smell like the Victoria's Secret scent spray, or does it smell like Baccarat? I don't know. What does wealth smell like to you? Does it smell like incense or sage, right? I want you to get into your senses, because the secret is in the feeling, right? The secret is in the feeling. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, I'm going to educate you and we're going to have these conversations. So you are going to know regardless, period. You're going to know. But the secret is in the feeling. You have to feel like it. You have to feel it. So if you feel good, you do good. If you do good, you produce good, right? You have to feel. And in order for you to feel, you use your senses. So I want you to feel, what does wealth feel like to you? Write it all down. Don't have any limitations. Like, don't limit yourself. This is an exercise. Challenge yourself with the idea of wealth. What does wealth look like to you? Feel like to you? See like to you? Taste, smell, everything, touch. What does wealth touch? Like, what does it feel like, right? Like, every single thing. Does it feel like a plant, or does it feel like silky hair? I don't know. Does it feel like fuzzy little shoes? I don't know. Write it all down. A boat, a backyard, a butler, a driver. Like, I'm telling you, write it all down, right? And then after you write down everything that wealth looks like to you, feels like to you, sees like to you, smells like to you, use all your senses to get creative. I want you to then, beside that, write down every single thing that is limiting you from getting to that life, that idea, that imagination, that excitement, that dream. I want you to write down every limiting thing. Is it the fact that you don't have any pillows, so you can't start the podcast because this looks boring and plain? Is it that? Because I feel you. But we're having audacity in 2025. So we're going to show up without the pillows, and we're going to build it by taking healthy habits and being positive and not procrastinating, right? So that's why we're here, just us on the couch. What other limiting belief, or I don't want to say belief, but whatever limiting factor is holding you back from getting to that level, or getting closer to that level, or taking action to get closer to that level? Is it that you don't have the nice, aesthetically pleasing cards with health builds wealth, mad nice, with the logo for you to just have your pinpoints here, and you have to just use a notebook that you just got, right? Because that was something that I was like, yo, I don't like, damn, I gotta wait until I order the cards. But you know what? Like, girl, get ethical. Stop making excuses, okay? But listen, I'm just giving you guys examples. Like, whatever is limiting you, is it that you're tired? You're like, yo, I need more energy? Because I got a remedy for you too, okay? But listen, every limiting excuse, belief, feeling, whatever it is that is stopping you from taking action to just get it done. Is it that you don't have the right lighting that's going to, aesthetically show your makeup that you took some time to do before you got here? It's okay. We're going to order the lights, just not this episode, or maybe the next one, maybe on the 10th episode. I don't know. We'll get there, but we're making the healthy steps to take action, right? And that's what I want you guys to do. Write it down. Be aware of what's... If we're at least aware, and that is the theme for today's episode, is awareness. If we're at least aware of what the end goal is, what does it feel like, smell like, taste like, look like, and then we know everything that's going to stop us, right? So the next list that I want you to create, after you create everything, every challenge or every excuse that's going to come up as to why you can't start or why you can't get closer to making the steps to start what it is that you want for yourself is, what do you have right now? Is it a notebook that you can write things down instead of a nice aesthetically pleasing card that you can type up so it can look nice for your viewers and you can look more professional? Is it a couch, even though you don't have pillows, that can aesthetically look nice? What do you have at your fingertips, at your resource right now for you to take just one baby step? Because remember what I said, success is just the small little habits, action that you take continuously over time. So if we can just take the steps, what do we have right now to be able to take those steps to get closer to that wealth level, to that wealth idea, that wealth dream, right? What do we have? So that's the activity. Take some time, challenge yourself, see what you come up with. I'm going to do it with you guys. So the next episode I can go over it and I'll tell you my truths and I'll tell you where I'm trying to go and where I'm at and what limiting excuses I have, because we're here having real conversations. Okay. We're a family. We're a family. We're going to have these conversations. And when we're a family, we keep each other accountable. We listen and we don't judge. And we help each other and we educate each other and we show up for each other, and we normalize conversations, and we help each other be better. That's really what it is. And I want to normalize things like that, like just being aware. So that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for your time. Make sure you like this video. Share it with somebody who's like, oh, girl. If you just share it with somebody, share it with your homeboy, share it with your friends, share it with your mom, your family, share it with whoever you're looking to keep accountable, who's looking to help themselves, who you feel like you have conversations with or maybe limiting themselves, who needs a sense of awareness, who may need the activity, right? Share this video with them. Subscribe, because I'm looking forward to just bringing more conversations like this, expanding the conversations, normalizing these conversations, normalizing wealth conversations, normalizing health conversations, normalizing the activities to take on a daily basis in a healthy way for a wealthy life. Okay, so subscribe so we can learn more, and comment so we can interact. I would love to learn from you guys, hear more from you guys, feedback. I love it. I'm here for the constructive criticism, because we're having audacity in 2025. So let's do it. I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys again. I am out. My name is Aaliyah. Thank you so much. Have a great night, guys.